Okay, let's get into this look. So what you see under my eyes is setting powder, and that is because I normally do the smoky eye look first in case any eyeshadow falls out. It doesn't fall onto my makeup. In this case, my makeup is already done, and for the sake of time, we're applying this smoky eye look last. So I have the setting powder so that if anything falls down onto my makeup, I can just brush that off. Okay, so don't worry about this step. It's totally not necessary. I suggest you do your brows if you do brows, and then do the smoky eye next, okay? And I also have a brow class if you want to know how I do my brows. So some of the products I like to use are the Baddie Base by P. Louise. Love that. Not Baddie Base, Bada. I got Baddie on my mind because I'm a baddie. But Bada Base by P. Louise. I'm going to use a fluffy brush. I'm going to use a round flat brush. And these are not branded, so I don't have any numbers or names for these. And then you're going to use a basic black eyeshadow. I don't have any brand that I recommend for this, but you can use any black eyeshadow. So what makes your smoky eyes pop and last all day is your eyeshadow base, which is why I like to use this. Or you can use the Jumbo Pencil by NYX. I'm going to use the Bada Base for today. So I'm going to squeeze some of this on the back of my hand. And I like to squeeze my products on the back of my hand because it warms it up. And it helps with the spreadability, I guess, for lack of better words, directly out of the tube, okay? So I'm going to put this, jumping ahead of myself. So you definitely want a good foundation for your smoky eye. So either the pencil before you put on powder shadow, or an eyeshadow base in black. But where we're going to apply it, I want to talk about that. So this is called the lash line, and this is where my lashes come out of. It's called the lash line. This is my crease, my lid crease. Everyone has a lid crease. And then I also have a socket, which is above this crease line. And that is where my eyeball socket meets my skull. And if you take your finger, you can feel that area. This is my brow bone. I always want this to be highlighted, and in this case, I just used a concealer to highlight it. This is my eyeball socket and my eyelid crease. When you're applying your base for your smoky eye, you want to keep the base color between your eyelash line and your crease. You don't want to put it all the way up here to the socket, and you definitely don't want it all the way up to the brow. And depending on how much lid space you have, you might want to bring just the base even a little lower, okay? So I have a little bit of lid space, so I'm going to start here at the bottom. And you want the darkest of your smoky eye to be at the lash line. So I'm going to start here with my base. And I'm just doing it to where my eye ends. I'm not extending it here. And I'm going to take my fluffy brush, and I'm just going to blend that product, still keeping it under the crease of my eye. I don't want to bring the product up too far. Boom. That's step one. Next, I'm going to go in with black. And I'm going to put that right on top of my eyeshadow base. And I'm going to blend it up just a little bit. And it should look like that. That's step two. So I have eyeshadow base. Then I'm going to take the eyeshadow and blend it up to the crease of my eye. And that's step two. Now here's where we start to add shape. I'm going to take a color brown, and this is from the Morphe Oh Boy palette. I'm going to take the darkest brown, just like a Sienna Brown with the same brush. So with the dark brown, I'm going to place that right between the edge of the black and where my socket is. I want to overlap though. I want to overlap the black. And this, again, is the dark brown from the Morphe. Now I want you to notice in this area, I'm going to start rounding it following my socket. So I'm rounding it on the corners and then I'm bringing it down on the ends so that it's bigger as it comes out. So that's step 3. Step 1, base. Step 2, black eyeshadow, and then brown on top of the black. Now, as you can see, I lost some of my black shadow, so I'm going to go back in with black, with that same brush, going back in with the black, and just making sure I don't lose that color and staying towards the lash line. Always, you want the lash line to be the darkest. So we're almost done. I like to use 3 colors. So I'm just going to wipe off my brush a little bit. And then I'm going to use a tan color, also in the Morphe Oh Boy palette. This tan color here. And I'm going to blend that into my socket area and partially into the brown. And what you'll notice is as I begin to blend out the harshness of the smoky eye. Let me get my mirror because I cannot see. So I'm just going right into my socket area. I'm not going above that. I've lost some of my brown, so I'm going to go back in with that brown. And that happens when you're blending your colors together. You'll lose some of your colors. It's okay. You just go back through and you pat. Pitter pat pat until they are well blended and you don't see any harsh lines anymore. So it's going back and forth. And then I'm going to go in with my black again at the crease to make sure I don't lose much of that. And I got a little bit. And I use all the same brush. As you can see, I'm transposing some black up here where I don't want it. So if you want to use a different brush, you can, so you don't have that issue. I'm going to take my darkest brown and I'm going to wing this out a bit, just a little bit.